Hello and welcome back to Symmons Plains in Tasmania for Race 2 at Round 3 of the 1995 Australian Super Touring Championship. Race 1 saw a great win to Jeff Brabham, who outlasted a retiring Jeff Allen in the Ford Mondeo, who dominated the race early on from pole position. We had a struggling race, running on our own most of the way. A late spin almost caught us out, but we managed to scramble home to get some points in 9th place. Drama also for Stephen Richards in race 1, the early series leader. He crashed early in the race at the Brambles hairpin. They've got the car fixed for race number 2 though, and he'll be looking to get back on the winners list. Here's how they line up for race number 2. You'll remember in race number 1 there was a titanic qualifying battle between Jeff Allen and Jeff Brabham for pole position, which Allen won. Well, for race 2 they did the same in the qualifying session, but this time Brabham managed to turn the tables, putting the Diet Coke BMW on pole, joined by Jeff Allen in the Mondeo. Position 3, Greg Murphy in the Oryx Audi, joined by his teammate Brad Jones for an all Oryx row 2. Row 3, Paul Morris in the Diet Coke BMW, joined by Stephen Richards in the number 34 Valvoline Alpha. 7th, Graham Moore in the Opel Vectra, and he's joined by Tony Scott in the Volvo 850. From position 9, Steve Ellery in the number 4 Chelgrave BMW, and out of 10, the Atlantis Relocations Peugeot 405 of Mark Adderton. From 11, that's us again, Russ Dugman, and again we're joined on row number 6 by Steve Hardman, our teammate, and the rest of the grid is the same as race number 1. Justin Matthews from 13, joined by Paul Nelson, Bob Tweedy from 15, while the field is rounded out by Paul Pickett in 16th in the BMW. So all set, another 28 laps to come. Can we finish a bit higher in this one and stay a bit closer to the leaders? Once again, it's going to be hard because we just don't have the straight line speed of the other runners. But as ever, we'll give it a go. So here we are, race number 2 from round 3 at Symmons Plains. Set for heat 2. Away. Go across the inside we can. Go to turn 1. Got the inside of Ellery. Ellery comes back. Got a good run out of there. We've got Mark Adderton in the Peugeot up ahead of us. Oh, under brake. Oh, that was a bit of a crazy dive. I don't know what happened there. And I think we got hooked up on the grass on the inside, but we're running 9th. We've got Paul Nelson, it looks like, in the Faber-Castell BMW on our tail. Back to 3rd gear. Sun in our eyes as we round the final corner. Across the line, so that's the end of lap 1. Over the curb. So we're chasing Tony Scott in the Volvo wagon. To the hairpin for the second time. Braking markers are gone there. So we come through the kink. Scott's got away from us a little bit. Oh, tail steps out. throw the car around. I think we're just lacking so much in pace down the straight that that's what's ultimately costing us over a lap. Nearly barreled into Stephen Richards, of course, at the hairpin. That was how far up the field we'd gotten. Paul Nelson holding back some of the quicker cars like Adderton and Ellery. Seconds in front of 10th place. And from our rearview mirror, looks like Ellery has gotten ahead of Paul Nelson, so we might have a battle on our hands in a couple of laps. Revving the guts out of this car. Be nice to finish both races here, which we haven't been able to do so far this year, around the hairpin. Ellery looming. I'm getting lower. Of course, the next round of the series at Calder Park is a pair of races under lights. So we'll be qualifying in this sort of weather. This time of the day, more accurately. The gears. Should have a few more cars in the grid for the Calder round as well. A few of the privateers not willing to cross Bass Strait. Ellery, car 4, the car that won last year's championship in Tony Longhurst's hands. Suitably spoiled now. Ellery is right behind us. No doubt about to give us a hard time, I think. Front wheel drive Hyundai, rear wheel drive BMW. Adderton has made his way up to 11th. He's quick enough that he'll probably be on the scene soon. Got Ellery ready to pounce. We're going to have to do our best defensive driving. We're going to have to do it for 21 laps. gains hand over fist from about here on the straight. So have to cover the inside. You can hear the sound of the BMW engine. Better than Ellery through the first corner, which should give us enough breathing space for the hairpin. To cover. Here he comes. He's going to go down the outside. Over the curb. Oh, Ellery's going the long way. And got the move done. Are we close enough to have a go at the hairpin? We are. Oh, Ellery might have gotten away with it here. Too much pace in a straight line, and I think we're going to be too far behind. Late on the brakes there. So the move he pulled around the outside was very good, and I just had nothing for that. So I think Mark Adderton will be where our attention will need to be now in the Peugeot. Still running without an aero package, which makes it quite slippery down the straights here. Because he got a 5th in race 1. With us in the 96 Phoenix Motorsport Peugeot. Right behind us, Adderton. Back to first gear for the hairpin. What's the pace of the Peugeot like compared to the BMW? off Adderton. Just hold him off on a bit deep into the hairpin, into the corner rather, at the end of the straight. To half distance. Adderton looming. Oh, and he's given us a nudge. Bit of a hip and shoulder, and through, but come through. Are we close enough for a dive under brakes? Oh, I think we are. Just get to the toe. Maybe too far back to have a crack at the end of the straight. I think we're too far behind. Dive into the hairpin. I think we're way too far behind. Looks like a lapped car up ahead, which could be a chance for us. Long gap back, 33 seconds, back to 12th place. So we're out of the points at the moment. So, looks like Paul Nelson or Justin Matthews, and Adderton's already around him, so in fact it's Paul Pickett. He's having a very slow day in the 318 BMW, which in theory should be quicker than the M3 BMWs. Round him up. Lapped car in the vicinity. Yellow flag out. There's a few cars up ahead. keep Adderton in our sights and then take advantage of some lap traffic. This must be Justin Matthews, I would say, and actually we've made a spot, so we're back into 10th place, so there's been a retirement ahead of us. Back to first gear. Adderton goes to the inside of Matthews and hasn't got past him yet. We're 50 seconds clear of 11th place. Catching Matthews in the wrong spot. Over and under. Our teammate is in this little gaggle here. Adderton really had to take a chance there. Off the back straight, Adderton trying to get past, must be Paul Nelson in the Faber-Castell M3. Oh! Stall our rhythm there. Oh, and Adderton's off. So we make the place anyway. Bit anticlimactic. And he's out of the race by the looks of things. So lap 21 of 28. We're now cemented in 9th place. Of course, that's where we finished race 1. Tail steps out. There's the Peugeot, still sitting where it stopped. Shame for Adderton. We've got a great result in race 1. So we're 7 seconds behind, I assume, Steve Ellery. The hairpin. Called round 4 up next will mark the halfway point of the championship, so 3 of 8 rounds done. Six of 16 races. 5 to go. Double points finish on the card for Hyundai. In terms of me anyway. Steve Hardman got into the points. And there's an Audi off. So the second retirement from in front of us in this race. We'll see which one it was. A couple of slower cars up ahead of us in the distance. I don't know if we'll get to them by the end of the race. Nice, are really getting at the machinery. We're up to 7th. So a lot of retirements kicking in towards the tail end of this race. A real race of attrition. A real day of attrition. Around with 2 laps to go. Seconds off 6th place. Picked up the pieces in this race. Which is what it's about, especially when you're in a car that's not the most competitive. So we'll get the final lap board. Past Mark Adderton's stranded Peugeot. I love it how on GTR2, if a car's in a safe enough spot, they just leave the car there. And it remains there until the end of the race. Checking flags out. Interested to see who the winner is. Can Jeff Brabham back up his race 1 win? Final time into the back straight. Around 7th place in race 2. There's a Volvo in the middle of the track, but I would say made the finish of the race, Tony Scott. So that's it for race 2 from Symmons Plains. Let's go check out the results. Another attrition-filled race here today at Symmons Plains in the second battle of round 3 of the 95 series. We had some great dices in race number 2 compared to the first race, which was a bit more pedestrian. Some great racing with Steve Ellery and Mark Adderton, and ultimately a 7th place finish in the end for us. But it was Jeff Allen who led home a front wheel drive 1-2-3. Allen putting aside the demons of race number 1, where he retired from pole position, to take a dominant win, 5.1 seconds clear of Graham Moore, with Stephen Richards back in third. A great effort by Moore to take the Privateers Cup win over Stephen Richards, who's been quite dominant this season so far. Steve Ellery 4th, Brad Jones and the Audi struggled to 5th, while Tony Scott ended up 6th. In 7th, Russ Dugman, a good result for us. We stayed on the lead lap, but ultimately not as competitive as we'd like to be on the long straights of Symmons Plains. Paul Nelson ended up 8th. Steve Hardman got into the points in the second Hyundai for 9th, while Justin Matthews rounded out the point scorers. Paul Pickett finished 11th. He was the last finisher 2 laps down, which shows the level of attrition in the second race. So the championship points look like this after 6 races and 3 rounds in the series. Leading the way, Jeff Brabham still, despite his retirement in race 2, on 74 points, 2 clear of Stephen Richards, then 4 back to Brad Jones. Greg Murphy, who also suffered a retirement in race 2, as did Paul Morris. He's still there, 22 points off the lead, while Graham Moore has jumped up to 6th on 37 points. 7th, Jeff Allen. 8th, Steve Ellery and Charlie O'Brien, equal on 30 points. 10th place, Tony Scott. We're in 11th on 13, just ahead of Mark Adderton on 8 points, rounding out the dozen. Privateers Cup points after 3 rounds. Stephen Richards has a 20-point lead over Steve Ellery. Back to Graham Moore in 3rd. It's really a 3-horse race. Justin Matthews is a long way behind in 4th on 39 points, equal with Paul Nelson, while Mark Seymour, who wasn't at Symmons Plains, is still sitting 6th in the Privateers Cup on 26 points. While the Manufacturers' Championship, Audi has now taken a 26-point lead over BMW, then obviously a long way back to Volvo and Hyundai. Hyundai, we gained a little bit of ground on Volvo here today, with Steve Hardman getting in the points in race number 2. So that's where we leave Symmons Plains and round number 3. Coming up shortly, round number 4 from Calder Park in Victoria. That should be a good race, a tight, twisty back section to the track, interspersed by a couple of long straights. Hopefully we don't struggle as much as we did on the straights here at Symmons Plains in the Hyundai, but that's all coming up soon. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your company from round number 4 coming up soon. Bye for now.